LEGO fans, and welcome into a brand new episode of Brick Hour Time Capsule. I am JJ, otherwise known as Langster Builds.
I'm Cameron, otherwise known as Cameron Studios.
And with us this month for this month's time capsule, we have two very special guests. Returning for his second appearance now. Please welcome back Mr. Brian Baum, Toys on the Side.
Thank you very much.
And
Nice to be
also
here.
joining us for the first time is our good friend Mike, otherwise known on Instagram as BrickBrickly.
Hey, happy to be here.
Both of these gentlemen are here because they were a huge part of this month's time capsule in terms of a collab that our Lego user group and Rochester did, and we've for a couple of years now had running an Ice Planet collab.
Hmm.
So when we kind of were going through what do we do for December for Ice Planet, for time capsule, it's cold. Let's get the Ice Planet crew on here and let's talk Ice Planet because we all know these guys love this to no end.
No kidding about cold. It's like it was 7 degrees this morning when we're recording
Right. We
this.
picked the coldest day of the week to do it, so maybe
4 degrees over here in Syracuse.
Oh, geez.
Kind of worked out
Yeah.
perfectly that way. So before we get into all this, for those who are watching for the first time this series, Time Capsule is a monthly series where we go back and take a look at a now retired Lego theme. This is episode, what, 15, Cam? Yes?
14, 15, 15.
Something like that.
The
Yes,
Bionicle
Cat.
messed up the ordering for us.
Yeah, Bionicle messed it up big time. We go back and take a look at a retired Lego theme. We always talk about kind of general overview what the theme is. We go to Brick Set, take a look at all of the sets, and go through kind of the highlights. What made this theme so special? Look at some minifigures, color schemes, build techniques, things like that. And then we end on the theme's lasting legacy. So, talking about general overview, Ice Planet was actually that technically is called Ice Planet 2002.
Which blows my
It
mind, by the way. I had
represented
no idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ice Planet represents a civilian space affiliation similar to M-Tron. They were conducting top secret research in rocket science, which made them a target for Spirus, the Blacktron future generation, and even renegade forces within Space Police 2. So they were basically intergalactic explorers, pretty much, doing all kinds of rocket research.
Hmm.
I'm going to go to Brian first, talking here. What was your kind of first exposure to Ice Planet here and your original kind of thoughts on it?
Well, Ice Planet was like one of the first original themes I ever got to play with as a child in my original exposure to Lego. Uh, the little four-wheeled, polybag sized, like kind of go-kart thing was like the first set I ever had.
Oh, wow.
I play with that inside on the carpet, and I play with that outside in the snow, where there's plenty of where we're from. And it was kind of nice how it was, in kind of also being like in spirit of something that was similar to something that's kind of like Star Trek, where like all the other space themes, it was something that was it always felt more like grounded in science and that type of exploration than any type of conflict. And and it also had that little touch of something that felt like home. So that's
Awesome.
kind of what drew me to it, and like also retouching back on it as an adult. Yeah.
Mike, your exposure now with Ice Planet and kind of your thoughts on it.
Yeah, kind of similar to Brian's there. I mean, I'm 40 now, so I was would have been eight when an Ice Planet first came out in
Wow.
'93. And I remember like going over to my really good friend Matt's house, and he had all of them. Like his parents got him all the sets. He had the base, he had the
Wow.
big ship. So it's just like, and he also had some of the Spyrius stuff.
Hmm.
So I just remember like just spending hours and hours, just the two of us, just kind of playing and exploring like this miniature world. I love the color scheme. I love the trans neon orange. It just really pops.
Hmm.
Although that was a big, neon was like the transparent neon colors were big in space around that time because you had
Oh,
like the
yeah.
trans neon,
It's the
green,
90s.
right, right. So it was definitely very vibrant. But I always remember just spending hours and hours. We're us pretending we're building through the snow, carving up stuff with the little chainsaw piece. It was just it definitely is one of those
Hmm.
things that now 30 plus years later still sticks with me. So getting back into adult, Lego, it was a lot of fun to just revisit
Hmm.
the like building the giant collaboration was like the base we always imagined in our heads. Like you
Mhm.
always
Right.
imagine, like, hey, like we've got this small set. 30 years later, I'm building a giant landscape as part of a larger collaboration. And it's just, and then hearing a lot of other adults come up saying that the same thing, like the very first Brick
Right.
Universe we did, where it was like, hey, I played with this as a kid. It was like, yeah, me too. And it was always like this, like, it was like, this is what I wanted it to look like then. And now I'm able to kind of make that a reality now.
Can I ask you a question as another 40-year-old with a similar experience? Was it ever like, okay, I get to build it and play with it in Lego, and then it snows a ton outside, and you're a kid, and I played outside as a kid. I don't know what kids do nowadays,
Sure.
but it's like, oh, now I can go build a snow base outside for real.
Yes.
Oh,
It was
Yes,
so
we did
immersive,
that
in
with
that regard.
it. I mean, just to we'll veer off Lego just a tiny bit. Like we used to
yeah.
just
Go
do
for
that
it.
with our toys, with our Army Men. They had a lot of the Star Trek,
Playmates.
inner space things, so like the miniature Star Trek series that they did. And we had a big giant. I had a big sandbox that we like built in. And it was just like we'd bring everything out there and build like a big giant city. We'd flood water through it, so we'd have water canals. When it was snowing, we lost toys that way. I mean, let me tell you, we were hard on everything. We were not
Yeah.
collectors. We were
No.
kids.
Oh
who
my
played.
God.
You know, so we lost quite a few things that were literally right in front of us, and then just next moment they were
Oh,
gone.
Vanished into thin air. Yeah, right.
But that's just how you did. That's how you played. Like
so
we
it
just
sounds like Ice Planet had like a really big impacts on both of your childhoods growing up and then later on into adulthood. It's like it's a really strong theme to have impacted you guys so much.
yeah, definitely. It just again exactly what Brian said. It was like it wasn't just combat. It was exploration. It was the
Mhm.
science. It's the stuff that
Yeah.
kind of led me into like a STEM career ultimately. It's nice that it doesn't always have to be a battle. Sometimes they're just,
Yeah.
not to say that they didn't. Lego definitely leaned in on it, especially with their advertising with like Blacktron,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Space Police in there, and Spyrius. Obviously, there was a lot of kind of stuff, but it wasn't just tons and tons of guns or anything like that. It was, intrepid explorers. And again, I know Brian and I are both big Star Trek fans, so obviously a lot of parallels there as
Mhm.
well.
I think Ice
Speaking
Planet
of, by the
also.
way,
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
Amazing.
That's so cool.
yeah, I'm waiting for Christmas for the big guy.
I'm a little jealous of you, though.
nice.
Yeah.
I think Ice Planet also reminds me of the original, like, classic space explorers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they had guns, but, like, they were primarily, like, they were, like, moon landing explorers. Like, it reminds me of that a lot, but just in a different terrain. Obviously, Ice Planet is considered part of that original, like, classic era of space.
Mhm.
Part of the reason we did break Ice Planet off into its own thing is because classic space is so massive that
That's
trying to
under-
cover all of it in one video, like nobody
Yeah.
wants to do a 15-hour video of us doing that.
That's an
But we're
understatement
starting
right
with Ice
there.
Planet
Mhm.
Not
because
yet.
obviously our lug has a huge connection to it. So I think we should jump right in and look
Yeah.
into some of these sets and go right from there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One of the interesting things with Ice Planet too, and you'll notice as we go through it, obviously, is that it jumps around a little bit year-wise. Like it technically
Yeah.
speaking, it ended at a certain point, but then like there's a couple of random outlier sets that came like years later.
There were like that 1998 one that I'm sure we'll get to. Like that was it wasn't even a new set. It was a rehash set that they released in Japan as part of a promotional thing.
It was in production until the 2000s almost.
Really?
Right?
Close. Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so we'll start here with the Ice Tunnelator. $3, and one of the things you'll notice right off the bat, that trans neon orange pops.
Right.
Big
That was
time.
my first set I ever had.
That was
this
your
was the
first
one?
set?
That was my first set.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
I
I'm
took that
so
apart and put it together so many times that I bet you I could still do it without the instructions.
that's awesome. I gotta say, my mind is still blown by the fact I've always thought it was called Ice Planet, not Ice Planet 2002.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy to think that it came out in 93, so it was only like 10 years later that it would have been 2002.
Sure.
Like, I'm curious where the 2002 came from.
I'll tell you though, like growing up in like the 80s and the 90s, like post 2000 did for a long time feel like the distant future.
Really?
Anything after 2000, like Blade Runner is what, like 2015, the original one,
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
or something like that. Like all this, like a lot of sci-fi was.
I mean,
Back
it
to
was
the
the turn of the
Future.
millennium. It was a huge
Yes.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Back to the Future was 2015, so maybe Blade Runner was later. Maybe Blade Runner was 2018 or 19. But
That's
Something
insane.
like
like that post
We're all
2000.
old men. We get it.
Yeah, right. That post
Yeah.
2000 though, that's what was like the far off future. Like that's when we're
That's
gonna have
so
flying
cool.
cars and rockets, and we're exploring icy planets.
I also
2001:
think
A Space Odyssey.
Cam, I'm pretty sure this is the first first theme in Time Capsule that has the Lego system logo on it
I think
that we've
you're
looked
right.
at.
I think this might be the oldest theme we've looked at so far.
It is, for sure.
It shows because this is the only image we get of this set.
Yeah.
We get one minifigure, Ice Planet male, which honestly for the 90s, that's a lot of great detail on there.
hmm
And that transient orange really does pop.
Mm-hmm. And that's a brand new visor that they did for this series.
Yep, with the antenna.
Oh, cool.
I believe they reused that a couple times later on. Like I think it comes in maybe an old dark gray,
Comes in red also, I think.
red.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used that mold a couple times, but it
I want to
primarily
say
was
they
in.
may have also used it. They retooled it for power miners at one point. I think they did also without the antenna, but
I was trying to see what parts it uses. Damn.
you're probably not gonna find that.
Nope.
Anyways, going back and looking at more of the sets now.
Going on to the Celestial Sled.
Yep, Celestial Sled. This is a pretty cool one too.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I love the fact, like, some of the charm for these is the fact that this was 1993 when this was made. So there aren't a lot, like, there's a lot of larger pieces. Like, the skis are huge. There's the giant, like, older wedge piece that makes up the whole front of it.
Those
It looks
skis
great.
originally came from, was it Belleville or the larger Technic figures? Yeah, the larger
Technic. They were literally skis for the Technic figures.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
they were.
Wow.
Yeah. Those skis were great. I mean, you had those skis on that toy and it would slide across the carpet. Like
They actually worked.
You would chuck it across the carpet and see how far you could slide it.
If
You don't
you go
care if you
back
hit
to
the
that,
wall.
go back to that picture real quick if you can.
Yeah.
I want to point out the yellow arrow, that part
Yeah.
that's in there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and even I've got it right here in front of me as well. They used that arrow to kind of indicate that there was a play feature. So then
Yeah.
No
it
kid.
separates
Hang
right
on.
there
Let
where the
me
arrow
stop
is.
sharing real quick so we can see that play
Yeah.
feature. Go ahead.
So let me go make sure we're in the camera. So anywhere you see that yellow arrow in, especially sets of that era, it was a play feature, something that would separate, something that would come apart. So then you could detach the little radar dish on the end there,
Yeah.
and it could be a little
Drop the probe, return to base.
Oh,
Right.
that's so cool.
Or retrieve the probe, go back
same
to
thing.
base,
Yeah. Jumping ahead a little bit, but this is one of the kind of iconic, the ice stat thing right here with the rocket. But again, those yellow arrows, and oh, look, it opens up. So the yellow arrows were to indicate
Wow.
where the play features were, even so a little. They would telegraph it a little bit, but give you a point that like, hey, there's something to explore here.
I do love that.
That's really
I do love
cool.
And you're more than welcome to take the arrows off if you want to add more realism to your toys.
I
I
think
like
it
to think
adds
of
to
it
the
more of
charm
like
of it.
it's
It definitely adds to the
like
charm.
an OSHA thing, like, hey, direction of motion is going to be this way, so it's a warning sign as well. So
That's
yeah, it's a
cool.
play
Right.
feature, but it's also letting you know, like, hey, it's going to move here, so watch out, be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. And I mean, like, were these all printed? Like, did they have any stickers in these sets, or were they all printed?
They were all
No.
prints
Well,
back
I don't know
then.
when stickers started playing a factor into
I mean,
sets.
so I do believe that they had like stickers available before that because they used to do giant books of stickers where you could like put them on minifigure torsos and
Yeah.
stuff.
Wow.
They had torso stickers. So like early castle sets had torso stickers and stickers for the shields and stuff like that. But then they kind of moved away from that. They really did lean on prints. Obviously, there were fewer. They were
Lego was
simpler.
kind of bougie in the 90s. They were like,
Yeah.
you don't need stick. No one wants stickers.
No.
They're
Who needs
fine.
stickers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who needs them?
Yeah.
There's just such charm to these. Like,
I love the box art.
Like, do they look spectacular by today's standards? No.
No.
But they're still super fun.
I love, as crisp and clean as a lot of modern builds are, with like all your snot techniques and no visible studs and stuff like that. There is something to be said about kind of the boxy stud up thing that you could
Absolutely.
customize. You could add stuff to super
Yeah.
easily.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could rip them apart and put them back together from memory a lot easier. It's a lot
If
harder to do that the more complex sets get.
it
Correct.
feels more like a toy versus the sets that we get now. Like, yes, they're still toys because it's Lego, but like when you see all of like the smooth tops and like all the snots to make it smooth, it feels more like a model in a sense, not so much a toy, which in some cases is great because like some of like the
Mhm.
Speed Champions cars look fantastic, but there's just a certain charm to having the studs exposed.
Think about this. This is before the time Lego did any type of franchising. Before, you know, any time that Lego made a Lego set, it was them creating something with the intention of it, coming
Hmm.
usually out of someone's imagination. It never
Correct.
was something that already existed in real life.
Right.
Yep.
So, a lot of the design in this is going to reflect, they didn't, modern Lego production involves creating parts to get to those types of designs to look like
Right.
those specific things.
Hmm.
In this heyday of Lego, we're going to just make things with the parts that we have, and we'll get creative.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll use parts that we already have differently. Maybe we'll make some new parts here or there, but the scope was not, it wasn't focused to get to a certain thing. It was more like, well, the kids are going to play with it. Let's, give them some tools to have fun with it, because they know all these kids are going to take it apart, or they're going to get
Right.
three of them, and then they're
Hmm.
going to make like a giant, super sled.
Yeah.
Right.
Here. So if you want to stop the share again real quick, because I do have one of
Yeah.
the boxes for the original, the Tunnelator that we were looking at
Oh, there it
before
is.
Right.
on the back. And this is something I think that it's a real shame that
Yes.
Lego's moved away from this, but you've got the alternate builds. There's no instructions for these.
Yep.
It just showed up and was like, hey, here's other things you can make with this model. The 3-in-1 line does kind of hold on to that tradition, which I
It
think is
does.
great. But I think there was something said to just like, hey, here's a weird model that you can build with it. And like the original Star Wars line in '99, they all did that still at that point.
Hmm.
So you get a lot of really weird, goofy things that
Oh
aren't
yeah.
Star Wars creations, but are using those parts.
Now I remember
Um,
that with the Spider-Man Raimi sets. They used to do the same thing.
yes. Yeah, because it was again that same era. I don't know
Hmm.
exactly when they stopped doing that, but I do think it's a bit of a shame, and I think some of it lends to how many more parts there are in a model, how
Yes.
much smaller they are. Like, hey, this is gonna be a lot harder to just
Hmm.
look at it and kind of figure out how to do it.
Yes.
Right.
So
I
All right.
mean, at
So
this set alone, it was 55 pieces for $4, and now new, it's going for 111, which is just
crazy
mind-boggling.
cool.
It's insane. It's
I
awesome.
mean, I want it. I can't pay that for it, but I
No, I
want
I
it.
mean,
won't
you
pay.
can get it for $15
I was gonna
used.
15 used is the way to go.
I mean, part
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
reason why it's so expensive new is because nobody thought to keep those sealed
Sure.
Oh
in the
no.
90s. So
Yeah.
there's that. Um, Next set to look at though
All right.
Ooh.
is the Blizzard Baron. That's another super cool one. I love like again the thing that stands out to me the most for some of these is that trans neon orange. Like it just
Yeah.
makes the models pop.
Making that wall piece canopy is really fun, and
Yeah.
using multiple of the personal minifigure skis as like the
Hmm.
parts on the vehicle is fun too. It also used that
Yes.
old finger hinge connection system that they don't use anymore
Yeah.
on those skis, and
Oh.
that's how they're connected on there. So you can actually have them connected using those hinges, and then look, oh, these studs are open. We can put something on there. And there's bar holes in them too. So you
Yeah.
can put something through the bar holes.
It
Yeah.
was a crying
Yeah.
shame when they remolded that piece to get rid of those hinges that I don't, to this day, I don't know why they got rid of those parts. It was probably something to do with them being fragile, maybe, but
Yeah,
That's
they
my
would
best
braid.
guess.
Yeah, they put too much stress on the parts
Mm,
that they would cause damage to themselves by use.
Right.
that's a shame.
It's connecting them now as an illegal building technique.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um,
And looking
Crazy.
at
When
this
Lego used to
set,
have fun with itself, it's like, yeah, let's destroy ourselves.
right.
I'm still like I know we're going back to the 90s with this, but like the fact that this set here is $8.
Yeah.
It's just it's so I it's like, almost like it's always like the next generation that goes back and looks like, oh, I missed out on some really cool sets. And like I'm feeling that now because like I haven't had much exposure to Ice Planet except for your guys' bill, especially when I was right next to you at BU. That was my exposure to Ice Planet.
Right.
But now looking at these sets now, like late 90s, early 2000s kids really missed out on these sets. Because I was born late 90s, so like I missed out on all these.
One of the other things I want to make sure to point out too is some of these wedge plates don't have the grooves. So like you
Right.
couldn't put this on a base plate and have it
Mm-mm.
stick because it wouldn't sit flush. This this is some of those parts. It was like the molds were done before Lego figured out how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see some of it on the back a little bit with that black wedge plate, but some of like the wing pieces, that was just not a thing back then.
Now I think those like quarter mold like the parts on the wing
Yeah, the white
that
things.
yeah those like yeah those I think those if they're not unique to this set they're like this is one of they're almost they're very rare and this is one of the few sets that they're in and I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's same for the like the controller portion that's in front like the kind of like the you know the yeah the that
Yeah.
handlebar for
That
the
showed up in other space sets for
yeah.
at least a bit, but
But I
it's
think in
and
white,
it's
it only has come in. It was only an ice planet and maybe one or two other
Wow.
I feel
things
like
because it's
Mtron,
primarily
yeah.
black or light gray.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of light gray, but yeah, white it
Yeah,
might be pretty unique for
yeah.
that.
All right. Keeping on here, going to the next set we got yeah, here's the Ice Sat V. I'm pretty sure this is the one Mike's
Wow.
got. This thing is wicked cool. I love the use of the magnet on the rocket.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's an actual magnet, so it connected there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Um, the
More of
big
those
giant roller wheels are sweet looking.
Hmm.
more of those hinge pieces on that arm that are just
Yeah.
like so fragile and they don't hold any pressure now.
Hmm.
And those that same hinge connector you can see on that white handle next to the cockpit there. It kind of looks like a white fork.
Oh yeah.
That was one of my favorite early pieces. Yeah, because it's like not only do you have it's a bar handle for a minifig and like it's got a hinge connector on it, and then the other side's got a stud, and in the middle of the stud is a hole for a bar connection. It has so much versatility in what you can use that part for that was one of the first pieces I ever fell in love with because I could
That
do so
part
much with it.
would be a fantastic Jedi lightsaber hilt.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure they've used that part in Star Wars, or at least someone I've seen someone use it for one of those like Episode One battle droid tank antennas for
Oh, okay.
yeah
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
probably.
can see that.
I don't know if that's like a set that came out or if that was like a
Hmm.
set I saw someone make, but I've seen people repurpose it for that.
I'll have to go track down my episode one sets. See if I
Oh
can
yeah,
find
I don't
that.
have any of those.
And like these sets are just like proving to me that like Lego's really making a mistake by not like doing all the 18 plus sets with the black box. Like this box art is
Oh
just
yeah.
something else. Like this is the best box art I think we've seen in most of our time caps. Like a lot of them have great box arts, but like this is just you see this is iconic right here.
So so remember when they did the pirate set? It was like one of the first throwback sets they did a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
The Barracuda,
Yes.
Barracuda Bay.
Yes. That one again, the box art, like leaning
So
into the
good.
nostalgia, everything. Like the only thing missing was like the flip up hinge, so you could then see some of the parts inside.
Oh my God.
Um,
I mean, they did a
right.
similar thing with like the Galaxy Explorer box, and they remade that was
Yes. Galaxy
outstanding. The
Explorer,
Lionite
Lion's
Castle
Night
was great.
Castle, but
And
then they
then
missed it for the market, like the village, like the medieval village.
yeah,
Like
Oh,
that should have had that kind of packaging.
the
Like
hmm
guys,
the,
like
the Black
I
Truck
don't
Renegade, same thing. They should have had that. It probably would have helped it sell a little bit better.
probably.
Yeah,
right.
this one's sweet looking.
Or
I
they
want
could have just done they could have done the Ice Planet ship, and it probably would have sold better too.
it
Oh,
probably would have, yeah. If they
Well,
probably.
remake
you
that,
know,
I'm
if
still gonna buy it.
they got
Um,
away with no trans neon orange for the minifig they came back with, I don't know if they'd get away with it for a whole ship.
I think they
that's
got
a good
away
point.
with it for the minifigure only because you had a lot of people like myself who were like, "Oh, I'd never had a chance to get Ice Planet. This is my chance to get a Ice Planet, just some tie into it." And then for like fans like you guys who have been craving more Ice Planet ever since, I'm sure you grabbed a bunch just to add on to your giant base, just
Mhm.
to modify a bunch of other characters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ton of bonus
I
ones.
got quite a few.
That is
All
awesome.
right, keeping on, as always. Deep Freeze Defender. Yeah, this is the one I want to hunt
Ooh,
down one day. Or
Yeah.
this is the one I want them to remake, to be honest with you.
you got
Spoiler alert,
$185?
the set of the series.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's really
$45,
cool.
almost a grand new. JJ, if you got $185, you can get this used.
Also, spoiler alert, this might be the thumbnail.
This is
Nice.
Yeah.
just awesome. Wow.
Yeah, that thing is like the twin cockpits look awesome. That printed like piece in the middle, that slope that has the Ice Planet logo
Mhm.
on it.
Can you hear Rush? I can hear Rush.
I can hear Rush too.
I gotta say, I love the back part here. Like this part right here, that looks like, is that like the garage door piece that like
It
Those
is.
are the
slides?
garage door pieces, and that does open up for like a cargo bay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is just
Just
Now
awesome.
I'm pretty sure the two cockpits also detach and
they do.
they're like
Right.
You
skis
can
themselves or
Oh, we got
walkers or
yes.
more
something like
So
that.
images on
Yeah.
they
this one.
detach, so they can be
Nope.
little snow vehicles.
Yeah. They
Wow.
they can be their own. They can each be their individual pod, but the main ship separates into two separate parts, and
Yep.
each of the pods can be the main cockpit for those individual pieces.
Oh,
If you also
cool.
look in the dead center in the front, there's one of those little satellites
Yeah.
that we saw in the
Right.
IceStat 5. There's a
Yep.
Yeah.
rocket that's in the middle of this that comes out.
Oh.
Um, that kind of lends into like the same type of rocket that the IceStat 5 has, as well as the Ice Station Odyssey base. They all have kind of the same style of rocket.
They are
Um,
similar in style. Some of them do have differences to them that
yeah,
I believe that would make this one, the one that comes out of this ship,
Hmm.
um, functionally more difficult to be picked up in something
I
like the sat.
I don't think there's a magnet on this one. I think the magnets are only on the
That
base
might
and
be
I
the
think you're
ice
right.
stat, and I think that's
Okay.
where the
which
slight
is
difference is.
easy to
For
do
sure.
to modify yourself if you wish to.
Well, there is
Hmm.
a magnet on the side of the little one, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Little
Oh,
nut.
you're right.
And there's more of those yellow arrows that you were talking about.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that opens up in the middle again. The bay in the back opens up. It's a shame we didn't get Connor tonight because he's got this one and he's got it together.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is the set that if they were ever to remake like an Ice Planet build, it would be this.
It's got to be this.
1,000%. Or it could be the base, but probably more of this. I think the
Man,
ship would do better.
each set we go over, it just proves more and more how that neon orange just pops against this blue and white. It's such a
Yeah,
perfect color scheme.
Mhm.
it really is.
All
I think
right.
I do believe the base is next.
We
Yeah.
have the Ice Station Odyssey, the last
Yep.
set of 93.
Yeah, this is
Wow.
sick.
It does look nice. There's a lot of attractive things about it as a set. It does pale in comparison to the ship we just saw,
It
Yes.
does.
which it's and that's kind of bittersweet. You kind of want home base to be like, yeah, that's home base.
The
The
set.
So the base plate that it comes on is a raised
Mhm.
base plate. It's not a new mold because they've used this mold for like the pirates and I'm not pirate. Yeah, I think they've done one
Yeah,
for pirates. They
Yeah.
did for
Yeah, they used it
castle.
for oh my God, the
Yeah,
Fortress set.
Yeah, the El
Yes.
Dorado.
but
Yeah.
I can say that I really love the printing on this. This one's really nice and clean. There's a little damage on it. One of the studs popped out. You
Mm.
can
That's all
see
right.
that right there. But I
Oh,
got it. I got it for a decent price at a shop because I had a coupon, so I had to pick one up.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I wish that they'd go back and do those raised base plates because it adds a lot of character to a set. It adds mountains that you don't necessarily have to build yourself. It kind of promotes just building a base around it,
It-
whereas you can do it with a regular base plate, but it would take longer.
even the regular base plates, like Lego, is largely shied away from them. You can
Hmm.
either buy them on their own, or if you get like a modular, they'll
Mm-hmm.
come with the base
Yeah.
plates, which
I
they're really just kind of stuck in because they've been doing them for so long and they don't want to be incompatible. But like all new sets, they have you like do a little like a plate built base. They don't really do base
Yeah.
I think
plates.
the last time they did a raised base plate was Indiana Jones, was in '08.
perhaps.
Oh,
But
wow.
Because it was when Crystal Skull came out. They did the Temple of Akator. I think that was the last time they ever did one.
I think Lego is finding themselves in an area where they're making less sets where a base plate serves a purpose.
Correct.
For example, something like Botanicals or even like
Hmm.
Speed Champions. It's like there's not going to be anything in those that's going to warrant the need of a base plate.
Hmm.
And like, not that what you use raised base plates for, is going away. In minifigure play and display and things of that nature.
Hmm.
The pie is bigger, and all the things that raised base plates were prominent, and just have a smaller chunk of that big pie.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's very true. The raised base plates also, like as we go back to it, it allows them to not use as many parts in
Hmm.
terms
Hmm.
of building up a terrain, so they
Mhm.
can use those parts on like the structure. Now, there's a lot of massive pieces in this, like the base plate, obviously, but then there's the giant trans neon like quarter domes. Those
Right.
things are sweet too, and they use like those do a phenomenal job of just taking up space and creating an environment
Hmm.
that nowadays you'd see that would probably be 50 pieces right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure this is one of two sets that antenna, that radar plate comes in. Mike, I think you
It
were saying
is,
that.
yeah.
Right. Correct.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
It comes on this one as an actual radar dish, and then later on we'll look at probably the plow vehicle. I don't know what the official name is, but it's got like it's used as a plow on the front of something because
Oh,
that's a
that's
plow
cool.
piece. I mean, that's a kind of a vintage plow piece, but
Hmm.
it was used for a lot of things. It was used as like a truck spoiler. Like they had a semi truck that used it as kind of the spoiler up above the cab. I mean,
Yep.
it's
Hmm.
it made its rounds in the 80s and 90s for sure.
If my wife was here, she'd be singing the Mr. Plow song from The Simpsons.
It's right time of
Moving on, I
year.
think there's a couple more, maybe one or two more left for this year.
Nope, this was the last one for 93. We're
Yeah.
moving on to
Oh,
94
94 is
now.
next. Yeah. So 94 goes next. This set's just unnamed, but this is the set with the
Unnamed.
plow that we were
So
talking about.
it was a Copac with
Yeah.
a like a city
Oh.
truck or like a rescue truck or something like that.
Right.
So
Correct.
and
Correct.
they never had an official name. This one's a little bit weird. I do have a copy of this one, but I had to like track it down, and they were just selling this half of it. And I had like printed instructions because the instructions don't exist as an independent thing.
Oh, wow.
But this one's cool. It's got a little like command station on the back with a radar dish. You got your skis, you got your saw.
So
Um,
was this the only set that had the radar dish as like the plow, or did it come out in other sets as well?
this is it.
Yeah.
So it's this and Ice
Wow.
Station Odyssey.
So it almost feels like they had extra and like they were just trying to figure out what to do with them, and then they just put it in like a little
Could
side
be.
build with another set. That's really cool.
Yeah. Also an interesting era where they did like kind of that co-pack. I mean, I guess we
Hmm.
still see that a little bit, although they're a little bit more thematically similar. Like some
Yeah.
of
Right.
the Walmart ones where it's like, hey, here's four different car sets
Hmm.
bundled together, or like the Star Wars co-packs or Minecraft.
Yep.
But this was like, hey, two wildly different themes
Hmm.
smushed together in a little co-pack set.
It's almost like
Definitely
it was like
fun
a
though.
cool marketing tool to like,
Yeah.
oh, you want a city set? Well, here's a little taste of Ice Planet 2 if you want to get some of those as well.
They actually did that a lot too. Like I've got a Futron, a Castle Forestman set, and it probably also maybe a car or a city set
Hmm.
that was a 3-pack co set that I
Oh,
know
wow.
my parents got me in like the mid 80s.
Hmm.
But it's just interesting that again it all came together as like
Right.
three mini sets so that you could get like a little bit of everything.
No, that's cool. All right, we're
Yeah.
going back right to it. Not much info on this. You can get this only used, which is pretty cool for $41. That's pretty fun.
There's probably no new ones being sold at all, which is the thing.
Yeah. They
Um,
tore open the 2-pack because everyone wanted the truck.
exactly.
Yeah.
Ice Planet Scooter is up next. That was a 94. Polybag size, $2.
Mhm.
Simple. I love the fact the instructions like there was probably no, it was probably just in a bag with the instructions.
Hmm.
Relatively simple, not really much to talk about with that, but
No.
it's there.
It's super
Um,
easy to remake too in a modern sense as well. Because most of those parts
Hmm.
exist, and even the ones that don't, throwing together something similar to
Hmm.
is really easy to shape.
It's
yep,
not really much to say about the next set either because it's just a boxed version
it's a
of this
box version,
one.
which is interesting that they did both a little box version and a polybag version. That is something that Lego did fairly abundantly back then.
Hmm. And then moving on, we got the Ice Planet scooter again from 94,
Yep,
That's
but it was
That's the
packaged with
98 one.
that's the
That's the one that
1998
got,
one.
or it even says packaged
wow.
with the sweets in Japan. So Japan had a lot of weird, interesting um, co-packs and promotional stuff. Um, if you ever do anything on like Lego
Mhm.
Studios, like the movie studio kind of
Hmm.
theme, they had a bunch of.
Right.
That's where like that one pack with like it's a 6-pack of soda is like the whole poly bag. They got a couple weird
Yes.
little goofy promotional
Oh,
ones like that
cool.
were like Coca-Cola promotionals in Japan.
Hmm.
So they, that's a not uncommon thing that they were doing around that era.
It's interesting to see the different price variations. Like this one's going for new $40, this one's going for 32, and then this one being the one from Japan $210 for the same exact small, tiny build.
Yeah, but
That's
the
just wild.
box is different.
True.
For 19 parts, though.
Like 19 pieces. You know what? It's a perfect little speeder, though.
It is.
It is. It is.
Now,
I love
this
there's-
would have
that.
been an army builder. This would have been the perfect army builder.
Oh my God, could you imagine
Yeah.
that whole squadron of these things just zipping around?
Oh my God.
He
But
doesn't
that
have any of his
is
skis though.
no skis, you're right. Just a little
That one didn't have skis.
boosters.
Yeah.
But
What
they all
the
got
goodness.
the little chainsaw piece, though. That's important.
That chainsaw piece is so iconic when it comes to Ice Planet, though. Like that, like when you think of like pieces that like made up that, like I feel like when you think of Ice Planet pieces, like the chainsaw for me and the Trains Neon Orange is the first thing my mind goes to.
Exactly.
It's like Pee-wee's bike, you know?
Yes,
Mhm.
Kermit's
It's
banjo.
right. Yep, absolutely.
Now, JJ, was the
That thing that
chainsaw...
Batman has around his waist. I don't know
Utility
that
belt.
thing. Yeah.
Now,
Does it have
speaking
a
of
name?
Batman, was this chainsaw in your Batcave?
No, but there's an Ice Planet tile in the Batcave on the trophy wall.
Okay, just making
There's an
sure.
Ice Planet tile. So, lasting legacy of Ice Planet. Do we know why the theme was canceled? Just natural Lego going through different things. There really isn't a reason why. Like certain themes we do know, but way back when that information is not really abundant. It was just like it went for a year. They released a couple things in 94, and then there was that one weird re-release that we saw from 98, and then that was kind of the end of it. So Ice Planet, there's not a lot to it. There's a handful of sets, but that handful of sets is great.
It's iconic.
Great.
It's
When you
like
think of-
Firefly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you think
no.
of classic Lego themes,
But we
Ice
never
Planet's
got
one
a
of the first
movie.
one. No, could you imagine making a movie out of Ice Planet? Like just a
Think it's like
storyline about it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's called January in Syracuse.
It's February in Rochester. So part of the huge legacy of Ice Planet is it's a classic space theme. It's remembered finally, and you two guys were a huge part of building the Rochester Lego User Group Ice Planet collab. Brian, you have one of the burps, the
Oh, yeah.
giant brick built burps. If you want to talk about that for a second and the
Yeah,
significance of that.
I actually think someone else in the club was like scaling up burps for some other project.
Mhm.
And I was working on my Ice Planet mock for the show. And I'm like, oh, you know what? That sounds like a fun idea. That sounds like, if we have enough pieces, we can just scatter them around, have a couple of little, background decor. Because, like we just talked about, Ice Planet was what, 7 sets, really, for the
Yeah.
most part.
Mhm.
And it's like, you have one big ship, you have one biggish base, and then you have a bunch of support vehicles. So it's like, and one of the great things about having an Ice Planet collaboration is, except for the now retired Trans Neon Orange, all the parts or all the colors and all the in the entire line are still in general use in production, which makes mocking it very easily.
Yeah, I was
easy.
gonna say.
Some people can still find Trans Neon Orange relatively easy enough. It's going to get more difficult moving forward, especially the people who realize that it's going to have so much value in the future that they're going to start hoarding it now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like half the hoarding was just members of our lug here.
Right.
Yeah.
It does help that like when Nexo Knights came out, they really leaned in on the Trans Neon Orange, and actually honestly kind of a similar color scheme.
And it kind of like it shot a whole bunch of new life into Trans Neon Orange and the parts that were available and what people could use them for to make mocks.
Right.
So a lot of cool parts came out of that era. Ninjago used it for a while. And actually, I think the last few sets that had the color were Ninjago sets because they had them in like some of their city sets.
Yeah.
There was like a video game season that they did. They had a lot of Trans Neon Orange in those sets, and then
real quick, our Slugger did a video about the retirement of Trans Neon Orange and then subsequently Trans Neon Green. They're both excellent videos. I recommend checking them out.
Yes, he's got a lot of fun stuff.
He also did a really good video on Ice Planet as well. So I mean, that's something to check out as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I think like seeing what you guys did with your collab after looking at these sets just makes that even more impressive of a collaboration scene. Like you guys built a freaking Ice Planet train and like I
Monorail.
just
Sweet.
a monorail and like everything that you were able to build with it. I don't think I probably don't remember seeing any of these sets in there because it kind of blended in with everything. But like everything you guys were able to build, like that just shows the legacy of Ice Planet to me at least, that it inspired the mocks that you guys have come up with to make that huge collaboration. It was probably correct me if I'm wrong, the biggest collaboration, like the biggest build at BU
I think
for
so.
collaboration.
It definitely won best large build
Hmm.
Twice.
from
Twice,
yeah,
yeah.
twice, two
Yeah.
years in a row.
Yeah.
And it's it was on four separate 8 foot tables, and it's
There you go.
yeah, the crazy thing is we got these two giant blue LED spotlights,
Yes,
and
I
we
was going
put
to say
one on
those
That
look
either
was
highlighted.
side,
sick.
and it like aside from blacklight, which makes all the neon Lego glow, the blue really hits the orange, and it just you
Hmm.
could it lit up the entire arena at night. It was
It
so
did. It was
wonderful.
so cool, so
Yeah,
That
pretty.
roll the lights and the
yeah,
videos of that, if people have not seen it, if you go back to our Brick Universe vlog, it's in there of us
Hmm.
looking at the Ice Planet collab with the
yeah.
black lights on. It looks phenomenal. Like there was the big mountain base that Jamie built. I
Mhm.
believe he did disassemble that to build something else. So we'll see what he
Hmm.
does
Right.
with
Did
those
finally
parts.
disassemble it. We had 2 years in a row with Jamie's large base. Although it debuted at Empire BrickCon, he is working on like a
Oh,
large like tracked vehicle with like a
yep.
landing platform on top of it. So it's a kind of a new take on the theme and like what we might be doing for a collab
Hmm.
in the future.
That's awesome.
We also still have Matt Brick Lizards, his big radio tower. That's
Mhm.
still a thing. I believe he left that behind for you guys to
He
keep
did.
for
Yeah,
that,
he pretty much donated it to us for future events.
which
Since
is great because we all
Well, he
love.
definitely wasn't going to put it in a suitcase to go to Denmark.
Yeah, no, that wasn't going with him to his new job as a
No.
Yeah.
Lego designer.
Sir,
one
do you have
Jamie
anything to
trip.
declare? Maybe he can put it in his pocket.
But yeah, I mean, like when like that collab, two
Hmm.
straight years in a row won the award for best collab. And I
Hmm.
remember talking with Jamie about it when you guys won it the second year, and he was like, "Should we have this? Because we won it last year."
Yeah.
But it was just that cool, and it was like
Yeah.
looking back, it was such an honor to be next to you guys. You see you guys building it as well as like displaying it, seeing all the reactions to it. It was just such an awesome
Well,
experience.
Getting the
first of all,
monorail track to
I
line
want to
up.
say
Oh
Yeah.
everyone who
God, the
was
blue
involved in
monorail
that.
track that Paul printed. I forgot about that.
Yes. Yeah, so we had
Everyone talk about the monorail track and the issue you guys had with that quickly because that was funny.
First
yeah,
of all, everyone contributed something unique and special to that display
Hmm.
that made polished a different facet on that gem.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That monorail did have trouble, but the fact that we got any use out of it at all, with the amount of planning that we had time to do, was astounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. Getting
Yeah,
so the real issue with the monorail track is just having, hey, we've all built different bases. So there's like, 4 or 5 of us with our own bases, and then trying to stitch it together with the track, having the track line up. And we ended up, I swear, we were like 2 studs off, and we had to
Oh.
shimmy Jamie's whole base just a little bit to have a little extra give so we could drop one of like the little mini pieces in for the monorail track.
parts are falling off.
But
Ah,
Oh my God,
once
I
it was
remember watching
together,
that
like the
happen.
train, it honestly because it's based off of the Lego monorail platforms. They only did 3 of
Right.
those,
Yep.
and it's the second oldest one because it's a Futron one originally.
Yep.
Hmm.
It ran like that motor ran great. Like it runs once a year for Brick Universe. That's really all,
That's
all I
perfect.
Pretty
That's
much
kind of
all
all
you
it's
look at
ever
need.
these
used
days.
for.
like
Runs off
Santa,
a
just once a
9-volt
year.
battery. You
Perfect
know,
time of
It's
year.
like Santa.
Yeah.
and it runs great on the like I've got a mix of original track and then some of the track that Paul printed since they don't
Hmm.
make that anymore.
Yep.
And it ran great on both, so it was
No,
definitely
that's
really cool
awesome.
to
Fantastic.
see
And
that come
obviously
together.
the collab will live on. You guys will do it again at Brick Universe this year. Is there anything new you'd like to tease that's coming for that? Maybe anything based on some of the sets we looked at, or just some like obviously there's Jamie's big
Hmm.
tracked vehicle. Was anything new you guys are working on for it?
I would say the tease would be that so there's a guy named Derek who last year did a big Blacktron display.
Mhm.
That was his own thing. So
Oh.
Blacktron obviously was kind of adversarial with Ice Planet. So we kind of teased
Mhm.
it at Brick Universe, not Brick Universe, Empire BrickCon,
Mhm.
where we kind of had Blacktron and Ice Planet kind of next to each other. So that's kind of where we leaned in. It
Oh.
was a much smaller display there. I didn't end up participating in
Oh.
Empire BrickCon 1 just because of space and everything else I was bringing for some
Mhm.
of the other collabs I was in and how far away it was.
Right.
But so it was much more of a tease on that one. But I would say leaning in on more of the space themes from that era and kind of how those different factions were maybe
Mhm.
interacting with each other.
Mhm.
So I'd say that
Oh,
would
I
be
can't
something to
wait.
look for for Brick Universe this year.
That'll be really fun to take a
Definitely.
see when you guys
Mhm.
do that. Does anyone have any closing thoughts about the Ice Planet theme before we wrap up? You know what? We'll go to Brian, Mike, Cam, and then I'll end us off with our final thoughts on Ice Planet.
So I think you said me.
Yes.
One of the things I know that we touched on one of the minifigures, the gentleman with the white hair.
Mhm.
You also have the gentleman with the mustache. That's Commander Cold, and then you
Mhm.
have, I believe, famously one of the first printed female minifigure
Yes.
characters,
Mhm.
Dr.
Yeah.
Kelvin. Red hair, lipstick. She's built for the cold. She's one bad mofo. And like she's also, I think, is she like a $90 figure or something like that?
She's
45
up
bucks
there.
at least. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And she, so that's something unique there. But like that's the legacy. 7 sets, 3 unique minifigures, and you know, people are gonna love that forever.
Yeah.
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 Mike?
Yeah. Definitely just it comes from that era of space that was just I mean it was obviously very big in my childhood, so I'm gonna have that big
Mhm.
nostalgia pull, but it just felt like a good era for Lego. We see teases of that theme kind of throughout the years, so even
Mhm.
after it's kind of long since retired, Lego space has moved in different directions. There was a Lunar New Year set that came out and they had a couple minifigs in it that had like
Yep.
Yep.
a jacket that was indicated kind of
Oh.
indicative of Ice Planet. And then eventually, when they did the space one, we got a new Ice Planet figure. We had the penguin, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Stinking
Unfortunately, no
cute.
Transneon Orange. And then they included let's see, hold on, I got the hair. They kind of said this might be Dr. Kelvin's daughter, also
Yep.
with the red hair here.
Oh.
Tough and ready to explore. They got the little kind of the shoulder armor, which was really cool. Um,
The robot
you
penguin
know,
was also
so
sweet
It
too.
definitely
was.
Ninjago also teased it once too, like one of the Ninjago City Gardens. There's an
Mhm.
ice cream shop, and on it it's a penguin wearing an Ice Planet helmet. That's
Yep.
kind of the mascot for that shop. So I
That's
know,
awesome.
especially nowadays, a lot of the Lego designers that are working there now grew up with a lot of these sets. They're teasing a lot of things.
Oh.
I can
Um,
see a scaled up penguin like they do the scaled up minifigures. How
yeah,
fun would
yeah,
Oh.
that be?
That'd
Oh,
be a
that'd be
lot of
cool.
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
With a little penguin on the inside, like a cockpit.
So it's a
A
penguin
penguin
mech.
a penguin mech
Yeah.
driven
Penguin
by a
Mac.
Yeah.
penguin.
Why
Yes.
not?
Oh, just too
I've
late to
definitely seen a
make
lot
it
of
on the wish
mocks that have
list.
done like Ice Planet vehicles specifically for the penguins, or with like a jump seat for the
Oh,
With
penguins.
the
So you would type,
penguin,
hey,
that's
that's
here's your,
awesome.
fun.
um,
That's a lot of fun.
Would you like the penguins from Batman Returns? Those
yes,
battle
With the
penguins.
rockets in the
Yes.
back.
Oh my
nice.
God.
There's another good '90s reference.
Best Christmas movie ever, Batman Returns.
Oh my God.
So,
It
No, like
counts.
my thoughts on this, it's like for being the oldest theme we've looked at so far in the Time Capsule series, it was a lot of fun for me being able to see the sets they were back then because like it kind of shows that despite them being, are they the most phenomenal builds ever? No, but that's not what the point of Lego was back then. It was to inspire play, inspire fun, and like customizability. The fact that that it's still beloved today shows the strength of this theme and the fact that it only had pretty much 6 sets, like true sets. I mean, yes, there was a 3 afterwards, but it was 1 year of a theme, and it has so much of a legacy sense, and it was so fun talking about it today.
Yeah. I think to Mike's point, the fact that there are designers working for Lego now that are sneaking little references to it in, um, that in my opinion, that CMF figure
Hmm.
from that wave of the Ice Planet, like the Dr. Kelvin's daughter, she was my favorite minifigure from that wave,
Hmm.
easily. I
Definitely.
loved that figure. It was incredible. That penguin is actually in the Batcave mock as a trophy, which was fun.
Nice.
Cool.
So I had like it was just a fun piece.
Hmm.
It was perfect to put in there. And I would absolutely love to see them make the big flagship spaceship
Yes.
in like a modern, but like we have the Galaxy Explorer. They did the Renegade. Like I
Right.
think that's your like I mean Mtron is up there, Futron's up
And
there.
Mtron would be cool too. I
Yes.
will say
Yes.
at some point, I don't have enough of it to do a big collab at this point, but
Hmm.
Mtron was another cool one.
Yeah.
They also used the magnets. They were more of the mechanic
Mhm.
squad. So they were
Oh.
there to like help fix other space factions vehicles. They didn't even have a base. They were like a
No.
mobile on the go faction. They
Right.
used
Lego's bringing
neon
magnets
green
back. Oh yeah, you
Oh
heard it
my
here
God.
first.
Yeah, if
magnets
only.
and they were big on the trans neon green.
Hmm.
They also
Yeah,
used the quarter dome piece for their big
Mhm.
vehicle. Um, you know,
yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
Oh,
be
that'd be really
And
cool.
I would love to see them keep remaking some of these spaceships we've been getting. I
Yes.
think the Ice Planet one would be so cool just because of how
Hmm.
iconic that original like giant spaceship is. I
But
would
you have
love
to
to see them
picture
do
it.
that.
You have to picture it in trans orange instead of trans
I
neon
know that's
orange.
still
Bring
And
back
downplayed
that
though.
trans neon
and when I
orange.
do that, I don't think I want that though.
Bring
That's
back
a
trans
problem.
neon orange.
I would
That's
still
problem
like to see
solved.
him do it just to see how they would do it.
I think they would do
I
it well, but I'm with
yeah
Brian. They gotta figure out
it'd
a
be
way to
tough,
bring back trans neon orange.
yeah.
right? I mean, that was the problem. Even with the Mtron figure that they did, the helmet doesn't have a visor on it.
Nope.
They
Hmm.
did a printing instead to make
Mhm.
it look like a
Right.
Yes.
trans neon green. So like they're kind of dancing around the fact that they don't have these neon transparent colors
Hmm.
anymore.
Was there a reason they don't get rid of them, or was it just kind of they just were moving away from it?
I'm
I
sure,
mean, I imagine there's got to be a production reason for it somehow.
like the
It
plastic
Probably.
it's
integrity
probably
or something.
and to be honest, they can make UV reactive colors without the neon in them.
Hmm.
True.
True.
Like, you know, your all all of the transparent colors have some uh, UV reaction shade in some
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
So it's and they get that with trans orange, so they don't need to trans neon orange because
Right.
it's and I feel like they did that because they have trans bright green. So
Yeah.
why
True.
do they need trans neon green if you have trans bright green? Because
Very
they
true.
glow very similar in a
Yeah.
black light, and that's part of the draw of having colors like that. And to be honest, trans bright green is kind of looks better in normal light than trans neon green
Hmm.
does.
I think that's
Kind of.
part of it, that they're more versatile for other sets and other things they want to do.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Hmm.
neon feels very sci-fi,
Yeah.
and they were able to use
Very
them in
90s.
Nexo
Very,
Knights,
very
a little
90s.
Ninjago for some of the sci-fi-ish
Hmm.
sets they did there. But
It
it's
was futuristic and now it's dated,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
I
They,
just think of
they,
like laser tag from the 90s or something.
yeah. Like it I don't want to say it overstayed, but like there's nothing for them to use that for anymore, except
Yeah.
for like an Ice Planet or an Mtron.
sure.
So it's like,
It served its
Right.
if you're
purpose
not
in that
doing those,
era.
why would you bring them back?
Exactly. It served its purpose in that era. It's remembered for being a part of that era, part of those sets, and I think it's almost best left in that era.
For
Probably.
Nexo Knights 2.0, the
See, now we're
reboot.
talking.
There we
Yeah.
go.
See, I would take more Nexo Knights of those sets,
Yeah,
but
that
like
was such
Yeah.
a
I
cool
want the
theme.
Yeah.
four track so
The
bad. It's not even
Long
funny.
Winter.
Ooh.
Frozen Nexo
It
Knight
could be
Tundra.
like it could be like Blade Runner and Game of Thrones had a baby.
Ooh. Oh.
I gotta
Well,
start. I gotta start funneling these ideas over to Matt and see if
I
he
know,
can't.
right?
Yep.
See what he can do with them.
We got the inside angle right
Yes,
now.
we
Oh my
do.
God. So I think that's a perfect spot for us to wrap up
Mhm.
here. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on and taking time out of your busy schedules to
Excellent.
talk Ice Planet with us. Before we go, Brian, where can everybody find you? And then Mike, where can everybody find you on socials?
All right, yeah. Please on social media, primarily Instagram, also Threads, Toys on the Side, all one word. I recently went to Toronto for Bricks in
Ooh.
the Six,
Mm-hmm.
where I got to meet my boy Zachary Steinman, boy, my man, my peer, and a bunch of other wonderful people, and it was a great experience, and I can't wait
Awesome.
to do it again. Absolutely.
It's very cool. I'm BrickBrickly, but I believe on Instagram it's brick.brickly.
Yes.
Okay.
Is where you can find me, and maybe this will give me motivation to throw some updates on there, some pictures that are more
Ooh.
recent than
Yes.
I think May was my last post, and it was like a quick
Oh.
in the office polybag build that I did on my lunch break. So it's been a little bit.
That's
We will
awesome.
definitely have links to
Overdue for
both.
some updates.
Yes, we'll have links to both your socials below so people can find you as well. Before we wrap up, though, thank you for watching.
Yes.
Down in the description below also is going to be the link to our Google Doc Q&A
Mm-hmm.
for the New Year's Q&A. So if you have not sent a question in for that, please do. That'll be very fun. We'll be doing that at right shortly after the first of the year. We will stop taking questions on December 31st.
Mm-hmm.
Also, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you're notified when all new episodes go live. Time capsules are always the third Tuesday of every month,
Yes, they are.
except for this month because there's a second one coming out next week that is 5 hours long. Yes, you heard
Oh,
that right.
wow.
5 hours long. You probably already know what that one's about because we did 4 videos back in
August.
August that were pretty crazy.
Oh,
So keep an eye out for that coming up very soon. The flagship podcast is always Fridays at 2 o'clock. Last week we did our worst sets of the year. The week before
oh
that, we
boy.
did best sets of the year, and those were both incredibly fun. So
That's
keep
an
an eye out for what
understatement.
we have. Yeah, I know, right? Keep an eye out for some more stuff we have coming forward for the
Mhm.
last couple videos of 2025. You can find me on Instagram at Langster Builds.
You can find me on Instagram at Cameron Studios _.
We'll see you next episode. Have a good night. Happy building.